what do we offer our network members? First, I want to talk about Agile Lean Leadership, the concept of Agile Lean Leadership, which is like the foundation of the network. That's also why it's called Agile Lean Leadership Network. What is it? Well, it's about principles. It's a framework for building organizations, and it draws on principles from Agile, and it draws on principles from Lean. But Agile Lean Leadership is not only about those principles, it's also a pattern for scaling. It's a complete pattern for scaling out into the whole organization, not only scaling up, but also scaling out. And that's one of the interesting parts of it. When you take a look at organizations using the ideas behind Agile Lean Leadership, you see that they are usually consisting of networks or teams, networks of teams, or circles, as it says here. So the circle and the network of circle in Agile Lean Leadership, that replaces the traditional hierarchical command and control structure of many organizations. What is this network about? Well, it's about creating value. So we take a look at value streams, and how do we create value in a network? Well, we start by focusing on the customers. So the value stream starts with the customers, and then we discover what kind of circles or teams, if you want to keep calling it that, do we have in our organization? What circles are customer facing, and what circles support the customer facing circles, so that we can deliver value to our customers. And within Agile Lean Leadership, we also have values. So it all rests upon values. And one value is purpose. We talk about clear and worthwhile purpose. What are we doing as an organization, resting on Agile Lean Leadership as a framework. We also have the value of sustainability. It's supposed to work today as well as tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, etc. And we also work with the value of resilience. So it's not, if something happens to an organization, we want it to be able to go back to the state it was in before, after fixing the problems. And we also, as you know, in Lean, we have the value of respect for people. So this is at the foundation of Agile Lean Leadership Prime Network and Agile Lean Leadership Standard Network. And I'm going to click one more. And here is an illustration that is supposed to help you understand that within Agile Lean Leadership Prime Network, Agile Lean Leadership is in the center. And then we also offer tools, like digital tools called Agenda, and some analog tools as well. We offer support to the members of the network. We have a library of resources, and we have a shop that we will talk a little more about. And of course, we offer services like training services and coaching services. So this is pretty much what it is about. And one of the things that we do offer is training and coaching services. So for example, we offer different courses. It could be in-person courses in classroom or online. And you see how they are related to each other. An introduction that goes both for a Scrum Master specific track, where you can also learn more about Scrum Master Advanced. And an introduction is also the basis for the Product Owner track, and where you can learn about Product Owner Advanced. And then for organizations specifically, the Foundation for Agile Lean Leadership and Practitioner. There is a course that focuses on how to specify the need of an organization. And that's also an advanced training class. And then, of course, in the network, we have the possibility to offer coaching services to our customers as well. And one of the benefits that I see from all of this is that I, as an individual consultant, I can bid on assignments with my customers if even if more than one person is needed. Sometimes it's really good to be able to say, well, if you like my ideas, here is a team of people who can support me from the network. So that's a little about training and coaching services. So I'll stop sharing and leave the word to Paul again.
All right. So, okay. So just to follow up on what Arne was saying there, and actually one of the things that I think we didn't mention before, but as far as the training is concerned, not only do we have external training courses, but we also have a quarterly boot camp that we run for our members as well. So we use that as a kind of a think tank, and people are encouraged to suggest topics for the boot camp, maybe even make contributions of themselves. And that again is a regular thing that we do for our members. The last one was done as a hybrid. Some people were there in person, other people were there online. Ideally, we'd like to do them in person, but not always possible to do that. So anyway, I hope that you can see my screen now, because I just want to talk a little bit about some of the tools that we have. So we actually have a full development team at our offices in Vejle in Denmark. And for a number of years, they've been working on and supporting our product called Agemba. So Agemba was conceived initially as a tool for product owners, because it was perceived that there were various things out there for Scrum Masters and various things for bug tracking and sort of project management, but there was nothing out there that was specifically for product owners. So we developed Agemba. It lives in the cloud. It's an extremely comprehensive tool. What you can see on the screen here is the story maps. The center picture there is of our story mapping tool, which is really like backlog planning in a digital way instead of doing it with post-it notes. And then you can build backlogs, main backlogs and tactical backlogs, so that you can actually plan work and then you can follow it through execution. Lots of other tools in there as well. And our network members are really encouraged to take a look at Agemba, because first of all, it's an extremely effective way of helping your customers improve their productivity and have better workflows in the agile world. But also from a business point of view, it's an opportunity for you to sell software licenses and maybe even to sell support to your customers as well, to help them get going and help them manage that. So in addition to Agemba, we've got a number of other tools of different kinds. So we've got very simple tools, like we have got printed, you can see here, I've got a set here of cards, estimation cards. So it's like a full deck of cards, which you can use. You can sell those cards to your customers. You can use them yourself for organizing estimation and planning sessions. And we have a number of other things that like that too. And then we have in the works, we don't have it ready right now, we actually have a series of what we're calling cool apps, which are going to be maybe online or phone-based apps for doing a lot of the things. I think the first one that we have in the works is going to be an estimation tool. So it's going to be an online tool for helping people do estimations. And there's one other thing which doesn't appear really on the list of tools, but we've got a lot of support materials that we use to help people in their daily lives. And one of the ones that has just recently come out and has been worked on by a number of the people who are on this meeting here today is what's called a Pixie book. So it's really like having a beginner's guide to a Gemba, and it's a beautifully illustrated book where you can use it to actually guide your presentations, and you can leave it with the customers afterwards so that they've got some idea of what the product can do. So that's a little bit about the tools. Arne also mentioned, if I get my cursor on the right screen here, so I can actually advance the presentation. It's the trouble of trying to be too clever. So Arne also mentioned that we have the Agile Lean shop, and this will be coming on stream soon. And the idea of the shop is manyfold. So at its very simplest level, it's a place where you can buy products. So you can go there and you can sign up, or your customers can sign up for courses there. So you want to take a Scrum Master course that's taking place on November the 12th. You can sign up for it here, and as a Prime Network member, then you'll be compensated for doing that. You can buy Gemba licenses there. So if you've got a customer who wants a very simple configuration, they want to buy a 10-user Gemba license with some standard configurations in it, they can come in here, they can sign up for that. And actually, right now, when the shop goes online, they'll be able to get a free trial of a Gemba there as well. And what we plan to do with this is we plan to expand this so that it becomes a tool for our network members. So if you're a network member and you're planning to give a course, then you can promote it through the shop. You can have people come in and sign up for your course through the shop there. So, and we think that there are lots of places that we can go to this. Obviously, they buy and sell sort of commodity type things, but we think this is going to be a great shop window for both us and for our network members. I mean, it's a very valuable, not completely unique, but certainly something that very few other organizations like us have got. And then finally, we have got our support team. So Kurt, did you want to say something? You had your hand up.
Yes, please. Just about the shop, really, an additional thing is that one of the reasons for diving into a fairly comprehensive setup with multi-language and multi-section, etc., is again that we hope that it will be utilized by our Prime Network members to offer their services, maybe in the beginning, in order to bootstrap a business, because again, to our surprise, it's actually quite a big job to get a shop up and going and get payment going and everything in place. And certainly for a one-man band, it can be a prohibitive cost. And so therefore we offer that you can have space on our shop, and that the money flow actually goes through there, and it is validated and everything, and we will pay you out accordingly for, I would say, a very nominal fee instead of being ripped off in a larger setup. And that's because our goal is also to help the network members bootstrap whatever business or activity it is that they are promoting. So it could, I think the first one is probably going to be in the Czech Republic. Robert from there is not with us tonight. He's busy working and raking in cash to his little startup. And he definitely wants to set up local training courses and also sell coaching support tickets through the shop, and in the first instance through this shop, so that he doesn't have to absorb the cost of getting everything up and going himself. He may eventually do that if he grows to be a larger entity. Well, then maybe it makes sense. So just wanted to add that aspect, Paul.
Okay, thank you, Kurt. Okay, so the final thing here before we start hearing from some of our members, we have a support team. We have both a technical support team, so people, programmers and support specialists who can help you with your Gemba applications, that sort of thing. But the team is also there to help you with every other aspect of training and coaching and organizational issues. So again, you probably see that we have these 9 ready-made courses which you can take and you can adapt, but we'll help you with that. So if you've got a customer which has some specific needs, we deal in many different countries and with many different kinds of organizations, but there's always some new twist that comes up every now and again. So, but we have people there within the network who are there to help you with that, to help you solve organizational problems, think about how you might deliver this. If you want to do a game or something to demonstrate a point, we have a library of those kinds of things that we can help with. So we have a support team there who are there to help you, and of course the other network members are there too. And we have an online library as well. So I think Christian, who's online here, has been the curator of much of that. But we have a very extensive library of research articles. We have slide decks. So if you needed to give a presentation on a certain subject, we probably have some materials there that you can take and you can adapt for your needs. And there's all kinds of videos and other stuff up there and links. So again, a very rich resource. So I think that's about enough from me. I think, Arne, you're going to introduce our first guest here.
I am, and we have 3 network members that we have interviewed, and actually 2 of them are here today. One has been mentioned, who is not here, and that is Robert. He is a coach and trainer, and his experience is from banking and automotive industry. He operates out of the Czech Republic, and we had a talk with him, and here is his views on being a member of the Agile Lean Leadership Prime Network.
First, the Agile Lean Leadership Network.
Yeah, well, Kurt Nielsen, the founder of Agile Lean House, was training in Prague. He was working for one of the companies here, and I had a friend there who liked the training. He invited me to be trained in Denmark, and that's where I started to kind of be interested in the whole idea of Agile Lean leadership and about the network. So I slowly joined in, I think, 2020 or 19.
Are there any areas in which it has been especially helpful for you?
It's been a growth for me joining the network, because the ideas the network and the Agile Leadership presents are slightly different from the standard Scrum model. And the scaling outwards, as Kurt describes it, is very beneficial when you work with big companies, like I am right now working with the huge companies. And the whole idea about the network and about the leadership is very practical. You can use it in real life. You don't have to rely on some theory behind.
Has it given you any opportunities to expand your business?
Yes, I'm actually becoming a trainer for Agile Lean House and Agile Lean Leadership. So joining the network actually allowed me to become a trainer, which is my long-term goal, to really train others and spread the word and kind of educate everybody in the agile ways. So this has been very beneficial for me personally and for my business.
What is your next assignment with the network?
I am actually training with Kurt Nielsen himself in Ukraine and in Denmark. I think in a month we are going to have it's going to be a second training together. So I'm very looking forward to it. And I'm planning to start trainings, Agile Lean leadership trainings in Czech Republic and Prague very soon.
Thank you, Robert.
All right, so sorry for that little technical hitch there. But are we all back to the presentation now?
Can I say something, Paul?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Just to expand a little bit on what Robert said, it's an example of exactly what Arne said. It was a fairly big deal that we had to squeeze in with a substantial company that has both representation in Denmark and in the Ukraine, and we were really already booked up, but we managed to stitch together a program where Robert would join me, and in fact also Arne jumps across the strait between Malmö and Copenhagen for a day to back up Robert on one of the days where I was already assigned. So So we managed to secure a substantial piece of business because we could call in airstrike support from the other areas, and so yeah, that's the business reason for the network, really, in many ways. Yes.
Yeah, and really what I just have on the screen here now is just a summary of some of the main points. And that Robert came to us, he was already a Scrum Master when he came, but he was attracted to the Agile Lean Leadership model because it gave him access for a wider range of customers out there, and it's actually allowed him to develop his own sets of skills, and also given him some new sources of business. So we're going to move on next, and our next contributor is Lisa, and Lisa is also a member of the Prime Network. She's an agile leader and coach, and she has over 20 years experience as an engineering manager, as an agile project manager, and many other things I should add as well, but that was just a quick intro. So let me see if I can do it right this time.
Hi, Lisa. What was your motivation for joining the Agile Lean Leadership Network?
That actually started way back in 2017, just before I found my own company a year later, where I happened to join a seminar with a German speaker who had formed a German network. And he was talking about the network organization, the importance of tearing down hierarchies and so forth. And that actually, it made so much sense to me. And at that occasion, or a bit later actually, I found out there was a Danish guy in that network, and that was Kurt. I was wondering whether we should actually kind of join forces somehow in Denmark, dealing with this Agile Lean Leadership concept and framework and patterns. So that was really my motivation.
How has the network benefited you and your business?
What happened then was that Kurt helped me becoming a trainer, a Scrum trainer at Agile Lean House. So Agile Lean House is based out of Jutland, Vejle, and I'm based in Copenhagen. So in that sense, we can actually refer each other's customers to our respective companies. So there's a good synergy between us.
Is there anything that surprised you about the network?
Actually, there was. It's a couple of years ago. I first talked to Kurt and you guys, and the openness and the fairness and the collaboration between you and us in that network, that really came as a big surprise to me. Fairness in everything, in pricing, in training us new trainers, and openness in communication. Everything is open books at Agile Lean House, which furthermore, Kurt is surrounded in the network by so many very, very experienced Agile consultants. And that knowledge pool really, really also came as a surprise to me. So I'm learning so much.
Are there any ways in which the network can help you expand? For example,
I am now able to bid on projects or contracts or assignments in general that I would not be able to without that network and without the contacts in Agile Lean House. I now also have a network of co-consultants that know about the stuff that I know about, open space agility, for example, open space and all of this, how to transform into networked organizations. I didn't have that before, so that is really what I was looking for.
Are there any other ways in which the network can help you expand your business?
Actually, yes, I believe so, because Agile Lean House has invented, was actually back in 2005, that current company developed the Agile Lean Leadership patterns. And I believe, and it's pretty much a fact, that future progressive organizations, progressive Danish organizations, will actually be able to become progressive organizations by using these Agile Lean Leadership patterns. And I hope to be able to assist with that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Sorry about that. can we also be back to where we started? So Arne, would you like to summarize what we were just talking about then?
Yeah, just to drive the points from Lise. Common interest in tackling traditional hierarchies. We see that in Robert. We see that in Lise. Made it possible to become a Scrum trainer. Lise gets supports from a network of very experienced members. What we do within the Prime network is we also contribute to a learning process. We all benefit from working together and learn from each other. The boot camps is one example of that. And Lise also mentioned the possibility to exchange referrals with other members. And that gives us opportunities to bid on more contracts than before, so we can hopefully expand our businesses. And then she also mentioned the openness and fairness of the network. And that, to me personally, is really good to hear. So now we will listen to one more person, one more member of the network. It's Christian Myrstad. Christian has been teaching and coaching Agile and Lean for several years. I've tried to get him to reveal how many years, but he refuses to tell me exactly. So it's for many years, we can be sure of that. And as a trainer and coach, he wants to help organizations become resilient and sustainable. And he operates out of Oslo in Norway. So take it away, Christian.
Christian, you were one of the initiators of the Agile Lean Leadership Network. What motivated you to take part in creating that?
We did have a very good set of educational materials, both traditional Scrum education and the newly minted Agile Lean Leadership model. But we knew that we were limited in the ability to deliver. So it seemed natural to share what Agile Lean House had built up with others, so that we could increase the reach and also learn from each other, you know. And by doing that, by sharing the knowledge and materials, we help improving it and not only maintain it, but develop it further. So that was the basic idea.
You're also one of the first users of Agenda. Could you tell a little bit about that process and how you use it today?
I was asked to give feedback and take part in testing it in its early stages. And I was quite impressed with the product owner's tool. And so fairly quickly, I started just using it for real as a project management tool. Association is an NGO that serves 3,000 member companies in Norway. And it serves them with tools that helps them to run their businesses legally, profitably, while attending to HSE regulations, which is really important when you do transport work. The Innovation Holders Association, Agenda, is being used now for planning projects as well as executing them, and also to get feedback from employees in the organization. We use it for estimating the effort with the development team. Online, it is quite difficult to do this, where normally you sit around the table when you do estimation and you do discussion, but now we have had to work online for a couple of years. And everyone views the same product backlog item in Agenda. We discuss, we collect information, we add in information to the item, and then we do the voting. And we estimate both 50 and 90% values so that we get an idea of risk. And Agenda then aggregates the total for us. So it's a really, really good tool.
What will you tell prospective members about the value of the network?
It's really about knowing that you have colleagues, not only locally, but also globally, that you can discuss with, that you can share with, and that you can draw on if you get an opportunity that you cannot fulfill by yourself. You can ask for help, you can share opportunities with others, and they can share opportunities with you, and that's immensely valuable. And it's based on trust, right? It's not like you have a local competitor and you're each competing for the same customer. It's this works very nicely. And as a network, I feel we do transcend county or country boundaries. And I feel safe sharing my connections and my ideas with others in the network, because we're in this together for a common good, and we try to help each other. Basically, that's what we do.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you to our wonderful interviewer there, Anne, and thank you to Robert, Liza, and Christian for sharing some of their stories with us. So just to review there, some of the things that Christian was talking about is he has access to ready-made courses that he can deliver and he can share with others, and he gets assistance from his colleagues in various parts of the world, and he is able to contribute and develop the materials and feel that he's part of the unit there. He also mentioned that he was an early adopter of the Agemba tool, which he uses specifically as a product owner's tool. They use it for planning and executing projects. Folks seem to get a lot of value out of the estimation part of it, and the fact that they can collaborate in building and executing on their backlogs, because it's an online collaborative tool, means that people can be anywhere and can still participate in all of this. And I think the nicest thing that Christian said at the end there was that it's based upon trust. It means that we all work together and we all trust each other and we all have each other's best interests at heart. So again, thank you to everybody for that. And I think I will just ask Arne to say a few last words before we turn it over for some questions.
It's easier if I'm unmuted as always. So what we will talk about for a couple of minutes is a little more information about Agile Lean House. You see that in front of you. We will also mention where you can find more information about what we have been talking about. And we will tell you about our two coming meetup webinars as well. So Agile Lean House, Kurt Nielsen and Karsten Mathisen founded this company in 2005. In 2008, they started to deliver certified Scrum Master and certified Scrum Product Owner trainings based on the connection with the Scrum Alliance. What the company has is a catalog of products and services that drive what we have been talking about: radical improvement through transparency and collaboration. And if we take a look at today's network, the Prime network that is, we have approximately 30 members in 7 countries. The standard network has many more participants, because one of the benefits of taking a class with Agile Lean House is that you become a member of the standard network as well, and you can use those benefits for your own good. Okay, so that's about Agile Lean House, the company behind all of this. And if you want to read more about the classes, agileleanhouse.com/edu. There you can find more information about the offering in courses. Agemba.com, where you can read more about the tool, the digital tool of Agemba. And then you can also find more information about the Agile Lean Leadership Network, both the Prime network and the standard network. If you go to the agileleanhouse.com/en/all-network. So also, if you're interested, please ask for a template for a network agreement that we ask people who are interested to read, and then before they join to sign, of course. So that's it for where you can find information. Now, Paul, please tell us a little about the 2 upcoming meetups.
Right. I think we just have a couple of things. So the next meetup in 2 weeks' time is called The Art of Story Mapping, and Christian and Anne are going to be the presenters on that one. And as you can see from the picture there, Christian has become something of a master of this. So I'm looking forward to that. And then 2 weeks after that, we have the next webinar, which is called Using Liberating Structures to Facilitate Scrum Events. And Arne, today's contributor, and Kurt, who also share with us a little bit today, is going to be are going to be the presenters for that. So that's about it for us for now. So I'll stop sharing.
So may I just say one thing? For those of you who are
course.
better at counting than Paul, you know that it's 3 weeks until November 3rd.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. So for once in our lives, we've actually finished the presentation part on time. So even with the technical glitches, and I have to say, I learned something there about the transition between Google Slides and YouTube today. It wasn't pretty, but we got there. So we have two of the people, the interviewees on the call here now, and Kurt, who one of the founders of Agile Lean Leadership, is here. So I think we just open the floor and see if anybody has any questions. You can either raise your hand and shout it out, or if you prefer, you can put it in the chat and we'll read it out for you. Kurt, is there anything you would like to add to what we talked about today?
Well, there's potentially there could be a lot to add, but I just wanted to mention for those who haven't heard it before, that when we started talking about Agile Lean Leadership some years ago, it was fundamentally a group of Scandinavian Scrum trainers, and Arne Orlander here included, and also Geir Amsø from Norway and Christian from Norway. And although, as you may know, we have a tendency in the Nordic countries to it's not considered good taste to boast of yourself, and so we thought, well, there was one area here where we actually thought we would be allowed to, that we have some cultural aspects that makes it easier to introduce some of these modern people-based concepts. Some of you may know the Hofstede's cultural barometer, and one of his parameters is what he calls a power distance. How big is the difference between top and bottom in a society in the perception of power? And we reside very low. We have typically more flat structures, not deep hierarchies, not and actually it turns out that is something that is needed to solve complex problems. And so we said to each other, why not be a little bit proud of that and try to come up with a concept where we collect all the good ideas that people around us have and before us have made, but try to put them together in an easy to understand framework that can be executed on. So it was a collaborative effort already then, and as it was alluded to during some of the things mentioned here, the network exists in order to carry this forward. This was a collaborative effort. It will be in the future as well, and that someone has to step up and move it forward and be the guardians of it. And that's what the network also has the power to elect the people who are going to move this forward.